naked shamanism. Welcome to With Insights Radio. I'm your host, Iggy Garcia. I will take you on a journey across the universe through shamanism, metaphysical, and holistic. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show.
All right. Okay, everybody. Welcome to Iggy Garcia Live. We do a show, one or two shows at least once a month. Make sure we got all our sound equipment working properly here. Okay, I'm Iggy Garcia. Today's show is brought to you by agate. Agate is a healing stone. It helps clarify and purify your aura as well. And so for those of you who use agate, as you know, it has multiple colors in it, and the agate is almost kind of like a rainbow stone of sorts. And if you put that underneath your bed, it'll give you a good night's rest, good night's sleep. So I want to thank everybody for joining me. I know it's late. I like to do these shows late. That's when where I'm my best and where I'm kind of focused. And just want to share my thoughts and just share where I'm at and bring you up to speed what's been going on. For the last 3 weeks, my daughter has come to visit from Virginia Beach while her husband is on deployment and protecting our seas as he's in the Navy. And she went back home today, and my little granddaughter as well was with her, and she's my little drum baby. For those of you who follow me on Facebook or on Instagram, you can see the little videos of my granddaughter drumming along with me. She's really into it, and she really enjoys it, and it's fun. My son is now here. He leaves Sunday or Saturday. He lives in New York, and he's visiting. And, he's cooking something upstairs. I can smell it. But, it's fun to have your family here and enjoy time with them. And especially the holidays can be kind of hard for people at times. But 4th of July was actually a good time. It was a good place to be in, a good emotional state to be in. It was a little, ups and downs, but that's the holidays. I got to see the fireworks. I like the fireworks personally. I think it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. So let's take a quick minute to just, catch our breath, just take a deep breath and just try to get focused and centered on what we're going to do here and what we're going to be talking about and just share with everybody. Just take a moment to just gather yourself and center yourself into this space, into this moment, because this moment is very, very powerful, very, very important for us to focus and engage ourselves on and put ourselves in a good frame of mind. So the information we take in, we either take it in or we discard it, give it back to the universe. Anything that I talk about today, I just invite you to the space, invite you to learn and to hear and to listen. And if there's something you don't agree with, then you don't take it in. Don't bring it into your belief system. Just say thank you and, send it back to spirit, back to universe, and it'll be recycled back. Okay, so today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, being the change. Yes, no, why? And why is it important to be the change? And why it's not important to be the change? And why it is important to be the change? And does it really matter to be the change? Regardless of what we're talking about today, change is constantly happening. Every single moment, every single day. We're obviously going through some type of spiritual awakening, a physical awakening, something that opens us up into the place we are today. So when I propose the question, yes, no, why open? Well, the first thing is maybe to understand that, when we open up, we actually invite other people into our space. Because when we open up, it gives the opportunity to other people to see us in a different type of light, a different place, a different type of feeling, emotion, spiritually, physically, emotionally. So once we wake up and we get into that space, people notice us. But the biggest thing is what it does for us. What happens to us? Where is us? What kind of movement, what kind of spirit, what moves us, what's it put us in? I don't want to excuse everybody for me coughing. But like today we did a meditation, singing bowl and gongs and all kinds of things in the park today. We, apart from doing the drum circles we usually do, we do these singing bowls and these singing bowl events where we actually get to tone our body, get to tone our spirit, get to tone our voice, get to share and put it out to the universe what's going on in our inner universe, our inner spirit, and connect that with the outer spirit. And that's what we did today. We shared today. We shared our voice. We shared our toning. We shared our musical instruments. We shared the rattles. We shared the singing bowls. And it was very powerful. Very, 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 very powerful. Very just enlightening at that moment. Because that moment was just so powerful when all the people are together and they're just sharing their music and what's inside their spirit and their soul and what's happening, what's manifesting. And then sharing that outwardly to everybody, and then sharing it out to the universe, and sharing it, deep into the ground and up into the sky and up into the universe, into all the different dimensions and all the different realms and all the different places. So that's kind of what we were doing. So when we change our universe, which is the only universe we could really change is ours. And by changing our universe, we change other universes. And these universes that we're changing are just the things that are inside of us that we amplify and that we resonate with, and we project it out to the world. Now, the world has an opportunity to say, well, I like that. No, I don't like that. Maybe I'll take that. Maybe that resonates with me. Maybe it doesn't. So when we change the aspects inside of ourselves and the things about us, then we start to manifest emotionally, physically, spiritually, in all different ways. But it shouldn't, if your goal is to change the world, then your goal should be to change yourself so the world can see you. The world won't see you if you're not going to change. If you're still doing the same things, if you're hiding inside of a rock, hiding inside of a closet, you're going to change your world, but you're not going to manifest into the world. When you want to go outside of your boundaries, outside of the world that you've created, the world that you are in, you actually have to step into the pool. Kind of like, step into the swimming pool. You can look at it all you want, and you can admire it all you want and say, hey, that's a beautiful pool. That's a beautiful blue, until you get in the water and get wet, and until you get in there and you start to become part of that stream of consciousness and start moving through that, you're just an observer at that point. And, observers do change things in quantum physics. They do change things. They do affect things. And that's the cool thing about quantum physics. But when we're actually making the changes in us, we change everything around us. If we have a bad, stinky attitude, no one really wants to be around somebody who has a bad, stinky attitude. I don't. Someone who's, in the negative, in self-loathing, in the pity, that doesn't attract, It's like more poop attracts flies, okay? Honey attracts more bees. You get more beauty. You get more production out of it. They're both producing, but the type of production you're getting is not really conducive. So as we're changing inside, when we start to believe and manifest in our mind, here inside of our brain, here, it manifests all through us, all through our body, through our core, into the deepest parts of us that we don't even know exist yet. There's parts of us that we haven't even untouched, parts of us that we haven't even opened or cracked the code or the shell for. And it's amazing. It's amazing because we have tidbits sometimes, and for a lot of us struggle to change because we don't know how. No one's ever told us. No one's ever taught us. No one's ever presented to us a format. There is really no format. Change is an awareness of what you are, and if you like what you see, and if you like what you do. Now, some of us are happy where we're at. Some of us are very content to be in the position we're in the places we are. And why change? Why? Well, maybe it's not a change. Maybe it's an evolution of yourself. Where you actually start to see yourself in a different light. As we get older, we get more memories. We create more knowledge in our mind. We have more storage in our capacity in our brain. We start to put things in there in these filing cabinets of our mind. And that's why we can carry around all this knowledge, and we share with the world. Human beings love to share. Now, there's not one human that I've never met that I've encountered who doesn't like to share. Everybody I know likes to share whatever is on their mind, because most people want to be important. And when you're important, and if someone else shows you the courtesy of being important, then we share. When we don't have that, we don't share. So when we're out there and we want to change the world, so how do you change the world? So what do you do? Most of us don't run around in the metaphysical world like I do, or in the holistic, group of people that I'm in, people, Buddhists. A lot of people aren't involved with the groups of men. So there's a whole group of people who really would like to change their life, who would really like to see the world much differently. But they're not able to because they've never been introduced to metaphysicians or, holistic practitioners or shamans or, Buddhists or whatever. You just name the list. But there's a big, big yearning right now for learning, a huge awakening for people who are reaching out. Now, usually it's people who are in the middle age or very young kids. But the 20-somethings, for some reason, they're still kind of stuck in their I'm escaped from my parents and I'm out in the world and I'm going to drink myself some beers and have a good time. But not all like that. But there's a lot of them like that. And they want to do something different. So right now there's an awakening. There's an awakening of people. But, like I like to say, there's enlightened moments. So enlightenment is something that is very special, very unique to the individual person. You are always going to be in enlightened moments. There are going to be some days you're going to be in the dark, even when you feel like you're the most enlightened person in the world. The reason for that is because the moment is the most valuable asset that we own and have in our pocket. Okay? Tomorrow is not, and yesterday is gone. Okay? So we can learn and construct from yesterday what we don't want to have in the present moment. Now, what happens is when we move into tomorrow's coming, okay, which becomes the moment at that particular time, you never come to tomorrow. Tomorrow is always one more step into the moment to where you're at today. Right now, some of you are listening, on the live stream, and some of you are listening on the radio, and I want to appreciate that. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedules, and I know it's late, and I know that you're getting ready for work tomorrow, and you can always listen to the show tomorrow, but I want to thank you. But yes, like today, when we did the Singing Bowl, event earlier this evening around 7 o'clock, we were taken to a place that only exists in that place, in that moment. There is no other place like that. When we're in that moment and when we're in that special, unique combination of energies and sounds and human interaction, nowhere in the entire universe, nowhere, absolutely nowhere, nothing happens like that when you're there. When we're right there, there is nothing but that. And you can't help but feel everything that's there in that space. You becoming so captivated and so drawn in to the energetic pull that's there amongst the people who are there, people healing and people sharing, and the sounds that come out of our mouths, the sounds that come out of our heart, the sounds that we wish we would have projected and we didn't, but we did in different ways, either through the sounds of the bowls or however we wanted to do that. That moment will never exist again. Never, except for in the memories of our mind. And when they exist in the memories of our mind, here's, grab this for a thought. You can never reconstruct it the same way. You can never look at it the same way ever again. That's why it's like a snowflake. That moment was like a unique snowflake. Once that snowflake melts, it's gone. It's no more. But the snowflake leaves its imprint, though. It leaves its pattern, either through the melted the water, okay? In the same way we did. We leave an imprint in that space for all eternity, forever. Whatever we put into the earth that day, whatever we sent in deep down to the core, to the other side of the earth, and out to the universe, forever and ever, those sounds will carry forever. Because, light is really super fast sound. Okay, when you think about it. When you think about it, everything is sound, vibration. Even the light beams that hit the earth, they're all vibrational sounds. Some are super fast, some are super hot, some are super, moving. Just like when we created ripples in the earth, into the universe, into the earth, that affected. We changed that moment in time. Firstly and mainly for ourselves. We opened up doorways and passageways into invisible planets, invisible worlds that are inside of us, around us, near us, beyond us. And that's the cool part about it. That's the amazing thing about it. Okay? So when we're out there and we're doing our things, we want to change the world, right? So you ask me, how do I change the world? Well, number one, if you want to change anything, you actually have to make the effort to change it. Maybe you need to have a better plan. Maybe you have a better idea. Maybe you have to have a better structure of how that's going to look like, what it's going to look like, what's going to smell like, what's going to taste like, what's going to sound like. Many of us just throw that word out. Oh, be the change in the world and the world will change. Well, for some of us, it's difficult to change. It's difficult. So for some of us, we have certain crutches and certain things that apprehend us from changing. It doesn't mean that we can't. It just means we have to learn to navigate the waters into a new place. So many times we want to do things, but we don't know how to take those steps. And when we don't know how to take those steps, that's why people stop short of doing things. People stop short of doing all kinds of things because they don't have a game plan. They don't have a map. They don't have, a direction. They don't have a mentor. They don't have a teacher. They don't have, a guru, whatever you want to call it. And I think that's what happens in the world. Remember, I'm projecting and I'm guessing and I'm thinking because I'm going from my experience. Sometimes I wouldn't do things because I was afraid that I was going to do it wrong, that I was afraid that I wasn't as good as that person, or I was afraid that, no one would come to my events. I was afraid that nobody would understand what I'm trying to share. But you know what? You have to just try. You have to just put it out there. If you don't put it out there, you'll never know. You'll never know if it actually is going to happen, if you're ever going to get results. But Iggy, you're good at this. I'm only good at this because I just did it. Okay? I'm only good at what I do because I did more of it. That's all. I threw more mud on the wall and more mud stuck. Okay? If you want to throw mud on the wall and just see how long it sticks in there, then throw more mud on the wall. But, we have to go out of our comfort zone. We have to go outside of ourselves a little bit. And, that's difficult for some people. It's difficult to, because we don't want the critique. We don't want to be critiqued. We don't want to be, chastised. We don't want to be made fun of. But, I'm going to tell you, that's part of changing. That's part of changing. For some of us, it's easy. Some of us will never have that. Some of us will never go into that because of our personalities, because of, who we are, because, we have thick skin, whatever. But the thing is, start. Start with whatever you want to do. You'll learn very quickly if it's working or not working. The system is designed, the universal system, the universal paradigms, the very universal, conjunctions and the things that are in front of us are there to fix them very quickly. So if you have misinformation, for example, you give misinformation, not on purpose, but you just did it, the universe is there to fix that very quickly and very fast. Okay? Because everybody's very connected. Everybody's connected, especially now in the world we live in. People can just Google stuff and find out if what you're saying is true. Maybe Iggy's, let's see what he's saying. Oh yeah, he's somewhat right. Oh, Iggy's offline, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. The thing is, you have to do it. You want to change? Do it. And, how do you do it? One step at a time. Get yourself a notebook. Get a piece of paper. And write down, why should I change? Yes or no? The big question is why. Ask yourself why you want to change. Hi, Juanita. How are you? Good to see you. JP and everybody I miss people. I've been just kind of rambling on here. But the thing is to actually be, and it's not really a goal setting. It's like a T-square. Yes, no, but why? You're going to have 3. Yes, I want to change. No, I don't want to change. And why should I change? You make this list of yes, why I should change. You make a list of things that, no, I don't think I need to change. And then you ask yourself, why? Why should I change? Not too many people ask you why you should change. But you should be asking yourself, why should I change? Am I changing for other people? Am I changing, for my significant other? Am I changing for me? The reason I say no is because there's some aspects of yourself that you're just not ready to change. No doesn't mean forever. Okay, no is just in that moment. Yes, I would like to change this. No, I would not. I like that. I like myself. I like myself 5'4" because I can't change that. I'm 5'4". But I play bigger than that. And why should I change? Now, this doesn't have to be complicated. This actually should be fun. Anything that I tell you should be fun, should be exciting, and should be something that you just look at and you just go, wow, Okay. Because when we write it down, we read it and we see it, it does something completely different. Now, some of you are really good and you're going to go, oh, Iggy, I have it in my head. I can do it. I don't need no list. I can do it. Okay. You can do it. That's fine. I'm not going to here to debate that. But I tell you, write it down. You'll be really surprised when you ask yourself, do I want to be a change in the world? Do I want to change? The only world you can change, like I said earlier, the only world you can change is your own. And when you change the world within you, it's reflected out and manifested out to the world around you. And then when people see the changes and they go, what's he doing? What's he eating? What's he drinking? Oh man, I want some of that. You know, you become contagious. You become very, spontaneous. That's something that people don't understand about the work I do is that I do stuff. If I'm going to, and sometimes it's very spontaneous. Sometimes it's very out of the blue. I don't plan a whole lot because, I've tried to plan in the past and it doesn't necessarily work well for me. There's some things I have to plan, but if I get a free moment and I just want to take off and go hiking, I throw something on Facebook, say, hey, I'm going hiking. Anybody want to go with me? I invite everybody to go because at that moment, somebody might say, wow, I really wanted to go hiking, but I didn't have anybody to go hiking with, but I'm going to go hiking. And in that moment, we all go hiking. And in that moment, magical things happen because someone made the effort, someone made the attempt, someone made a conscious and concerted effort to say, I want to do something out of character, something that I usually don't do, something I'm going to do during the week, whatever. And that's when changes happen. That's when you create great friendships. That's when you create all kinds of cool stuff when you do it. It's easy to lay in bed, and that's cool. I've laid in bed and not doing anything. I don't think I change too much, in bed, but I know I get more done when I'm, creating. We have a drum circle this weekend, this Saturday. 20 years ago, I probably would have not even thought about doing all these drum circles and doing all these different things. But I've come to understand little by little as I progress, and I've learned in my progression through my learning and my involvement with other things, to actually be able to share what I've learned through that. Okay. The other day I posted something that, I can't teach you anything. I can only share my experiences with you and my memories with you of things. And some people will say, oh, well, that's kind of like learning. Yeah, it is learning in the sorts. I'm just telling you my story. There's a difference. I'm telling you my story. And when you see the drummings that I do and the singing bowl things that I do, those are my stories. Those are my emotions, my feelings. When I'm on that big drum and when I'm playing it, that's me expressing what's inside. And sometimes I'm slow rhythm, sometimes I'm fast, but most of the time I'm pretty quick and I'm jamming and I'm kicking it out because that's where I want to be. And that doesn't mean everybody has to be there, but you would start to attract people who are like similar in energies, like energies attract. And you start to bring in the people who are like you and people who want to be around that and people who want to enjoy that. And if they don't want to be around that, they have a choice not to be around that. They can make that decision for themselves. But I find that if I'm not doing drum circle, not that I'm the only drum circle person in the world, but if I'm not doing it, it doesn't get done usually. There are a few people who do it, but there's something about this energy that David and I, Adriana, Mary, Mark, and Cullen, and Putzi have put together in these last, several years of creating drum circles that people want to come to them. And I ask myself, that's where I put my list. I ask myself, why am I doing drum circles? Yes. Should do drum circles? Yes, no. Why? I ask my own questions. I want to know. Why do I do drum circles? Are drum circles fun? Yes. Do I not want to drum circles? Do not do drum circles? No, I want to do them. And why am I doing them? Because they're kick-ass fun, man. And they're just jumping, and you have a great time with it. If you don't... Our drum circles are parties. Okay, I just put it like that. Life is about partying. Life is about enjoying, and life is about expression. Life is about letting go and releasing all those things inside of those inhibitions inside of us that we want to share. Some of us will never be millionaires, okay? Some of us will never be doctors. Some of us will never be lawyers. Some of us, thank God. Some, I'm just joking. Some of us will never be president. Some of us will never be senators. Some of us will never be whatever, blah, blah, blah. The list goes on and on. But we're always going to be human. We're always going to be man or woman. We're always going to be brothers and sisters in this world. We're always going to be connected. We're always going to be sharing. So it doesn't matter if you're doctor, lawyer, principal, president. We all have to share. There is no one above anybody. We just create these systems. But when we're in the drum circle, it's not about who's in charge. It's about sharing and moving that energy and that consciousness into the world, into the universe, into the expansion. And you want to know why the universe is still expanding? Because we're expanding. Because we're creating. That's why the universe is still expanding after the big great bang, okay? Science goes, wow, I can't understand why the universe is still expanding. It should be retracting, should be coming back. No, scientists, because we are evolving. We are the universe. We are part of it. We are the creation. We are part of that whole ball of wax. That's why the universe doesn't stop expanding, because we don't stop. The day we stop is the day the universe stops. Okay? I don't see us stopping, so I don't see the universe stopping the expansion. So if you want the universe to get bigger and more beautiful, more powerful, and you want to travel to different dimensions and travel to different planets and different places in the imagination of your mind, then keep creating. That's why human beings create. That's why we make movies. That's why we make songs. That's why we draw. That's why we sing. That's why we paint. That's why we sew. That's why we do you name it, all the things we do. That's why somebody's creation, this hat, okay, this Sagittarian hat of mine, okay, someone's creation. Somebody had the idea to do it. Now I'm wearing someone's idea. Now I have the thinking cap on. Now I can go and manifest and go, well, I got my Sagittarian hat on. Now I can go, well, I'm party, man. It's time to party. I'm the Sagittarian dude, Let's do it. But that's how it works. That's how manifesting, that's how change occurs. When people do things, when we're not idle. Now, you're not always going to be changing. Maybe. But I'll guarantee you, when you don't do something, there's changes happening. There's always changes happening. Because when you don't do something, somebody else is doing it. But when you don't do something, you're also changing your environment. You're changing what's happening in your world. So either being active or inactive in your creating, in your changing, something's happening. Okay, so we got to be like the agate. The agate stone I was talking about earlier, the multiple colors in there. Okay, it's an aura stone, and that aura, and those are the different colors and the different people who are together. That's made from the earth. Okay, and the earth creates all those combinations of colors and geometric shapes and all the different patterns in there. It's amazing. And if the earth is creating, then why can't we, right? The earth is always creating. She's creating more air. She's creating more love, more plants, more people, everything you see. The earth is magic. Magical. After we're long and gone, the earth will continue creating. The earth created us through spirit. It created us through all the different things. All right? So once mankind is no longer here, which we will have our turn. We'll be like the dinosaurs. We will no longer exist. But we will be created in a new way, in a new light, in a new paradigm of sorts. The earth creates a new paradigm. It creates a new shift. Creates a new entity, If you think that the asteroid that hit the planet millions and millions of years ago was by chance and by accident, there are no accidents. Some of you who say that all the time, there's no coincidence. There's no accident. This is divine intervention. This is divine moment, divine purpose. I know some of you guys say that because I say that. Now, when that asteroid hits, wipes everything out, a new existence occurs, who's to say that's not going to happen again? And then mankind gone. Don't be fearful. Don't be afraid. If you're no longer here, we're no longer here. We had our moment and we share it. But we turn into completely different existence. We'll completely manifest into the world. So some of that stuff that was scattered into the universe is created on different places, in different worlds, different planets. You got to just believe that that's happening. You got to believe that there's something amazing happening out there, that something just far more greater than we could ever understand is occurring. Okay? If this planet was to blow up tomorrow, just the essence in the biomatter that's on here would just touch the universe entirely. It would go everywhere. You know, our DNA would be scattered amongst the stars, creating new lives on different planets. We have to create the changes in our mind. We have to think further and beyond just planet Earth. For now, we're stable and we're here and we're enjoying the comforts of her, you know, the great dome around us that protects us from the sun rays from Sky Father and keeps us from getting charred and microwaved. Okay. But we're creating constantly creating. And we're constantly changing. Okay? If you don't come off this show today with a little bit of insight and a little bit of change, a little bit of hope that you can do some cool stuff, I don't know what to tell you. But I know that I'm going to change a little bit from just doing this show, because I'm reading your comments as you're posting there, and the little hearts and the little thumbs up that you send up. And you know, that inspires me to say, to talk, to share the different things that are inside my heart and what I'm feeling. Because what it means is I've connected with something that you agree with, or someone agree with, or in alignment with. We're no different. We're no different. You know, all of us here on this planet want to be loved, want to be seen, you know, want to be touched, want to be felt. You guys are funny. But, you know, we're all connected. We're all, you know, the Native Americans in Peru and South America, they all said, all my relations. All my relations means that we're part of everything. We're connected to everything. Like it or dislike it. We're all part of that. That's why we're so triggered by things we don't like, because we know we're connected to it. Okay? We get triggered by the things that are shadow aspects of ourselves. Shadow of the human race. Okay? And I don't have to give you too many examples because you guys can figure that out. But when we see cool things like when Mother Teresa is helping the poor, why does that move us? Why does that move us inside? Why do we feel the urge to say, oh, she's great, she's doing great for humanity? Why? Because we have a connection to ourselves in that moment. We have a connection to that particular person, to that particular moment in time, that event in history that we're connected to. Mother Teresa is an example of how we would like to be, how we would see the world, how we would like to see the world. Now we go the other direction, and then we see a political leader that we don't agree with, someone that we're not in alignment with, because they're not in alignment with, you know, how the rest of us are. Okay? So we see the shadow aspect of ourselves, what we don't want to have, what we don't want to be, what we wouldn't do, why we wouldn't, you know, act or behave that way. So we have, you know, duality. We have the shadow side, the light side, the feminine, the masculine. Okay, but we're always changing. And we come into this place called the moment, in this middle right here. Okay? And in this moment, in this middle, we're able to see both sides. Okay? So we see the shadow and we see the light, and we can work with both. We want to be able to say, okay, it's here and here. We don't want to be too far one way. We want to be in a harmonious dance with both of them, because we live there. We live in both of these extremes. Sometimes we're too far this way, sometimes we're too far that way, you know. And as we're changing, we're going to go into the extremes. And that's something I want to remind you. Sometimes when we want to do something that's out of character for us and something that will change us and change the world, well, might take us out of balance a little bit. It may take us to the left or to the right too much. You could be too much love and light, and you could be too completely, and then you're out of touch. And you're just like, you can't connect with anybody. Or no one can connect with you except for yourself, maybe. And we don't even know if you're even there and listening. Okay, you can totally ignore somebody being too far into one direction. Then you can be in the whole negative. You're like, oh, don't talk to me. Leave me alone. I'm pissed off. You know, you could be in that place where you're just totally angry. And that doesn't serve us either. So how do you come into the balance? How do you bring yourself into this moment? How do you bring to yourself is knowing that we are going to have good days and going to have bad days. But we can choose to have more good days than bad. Now, some things just hit us and boom, we're right there and we have to adjust and we have to kind of go, whoa, now how do I adjust? It's not easy. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not easy just to, like my dog's barking, it's, not easy to adjust sometimes. Sometimes it's difficult to say, oh, wow, I got a problem. I got to work it out. But for some of us, it's easy. Some of us can go, can forgive and forget and move on. But not everybody can do that. And I don't expect everybody to do that. Everybody has to process through that and filter through that and go through that system. Because we're just constantly a book of filters, a book of memories, a book of, all kinds of stuff. Everything that we've compiled into our life, that's who we are. That's how we move through the world. That's how we see the world. The world has taught us. The world has pissed on us. The world has loved us. The world has hated us. The world has given us a lot of stuff. The world has screwed me over, The world took this away from me. Yeah, these are real stuff. These are real feelings and emotions. These are things that are really you're feeling inside. And I'm not trying to discount that. Okay, but I'm going to say that, if we're not able to learn from those things, we get stuck in that. We stay and we permeate like a stain in a carpet. Okay, we stay right there until we're ready to be cleaned up and moved out. Okay, there's always going to be a memory. There's always going to be something. Even if you take the stain out of a carpet, there's always going to be like a different type of pattern. There's going to be there, but it's moved out. We didn't forget. Okay, we didn't forget. It just doesn't own us anymore. It doesn't own us in the way it used to. Now we can say, okay, yes, this was painful. This was a very painful moment in my life, but I've learned something. And you know what? It may take you a lifetime to learn that. It may take you an eternity to learn. Now I'm projecting. That's projection. Okay? And we do that to people all the time. And that's something that we just have to learn to hear what comes out of our mouth. Sometimes we are the biggest culprit to ourselves and others. Okay? So limiting beliefs are huge in our country, huge in this world, huge amongst our kids. When we create limiting beliefs in ourselves because we don't believe we can do it, by nature, human beings create limiting beliefs in other human beings. Oh no, she can't be a gymnast. She's too short. Oh no, she's too old. She can't be a ballerina. She's too tall. Oh no, he can't be a bodybuilder. Oh no, he can't. We do that all the time. And and it's just sometimes it's unconscious. We're not consciously thinking about it, but it happens. It happens. You've seen it. I know you've seen it. You experienced it. You've been part of those situations where people have said, "No, you can't do it." "Nah, you can't do it." Well, I'm here to tell you, you can do whatever you want. You can create whatever you want. You can change whatever you want. Okay, but there's going to be steps. There's going to be some things. You're going to have to do some self-analysis of yourself. You're going to have to go and look into yourself, talk to yourself, and dig deep and figure out what you're going to do. Because that isn't going to happen just by accident. By process of osmosis, you're just going to rub up against somebody. I'm going to change. That doesn't happen. You want to change? I gave you an idea earlier. Make a T-square, 3 sections. Change. The change for yes, change for no, and change for why. Just ask yourself, why do I want to change? No, I don't want to change that. And yes, I want to change that. Okay? Real simple. Your list might get long, your list may be short. It's really up to you. Okay? And Juanita, there are people, when you say believe in yourself, there are people who don't believe in themselves. Because no one instilled the belief of believing in yourself. So how do we instill belief in us? Okay? And that's a good question. That's a powerful question. And I'm glad you brought that up because, I remember as a kid, they would tell me, believe in yourself. But it was hard to believe in myself when I didn't love myself the way I thought I should love myself. And I didn't know myself very well. And I still don't know myself very well. I'm still learning myself, getting to know myself. But it's hard to believe in yourself when you don't have the proper tools to believe in yourself, when someone has stripped you or someone has taken from you, or you just have never gathered or you have never compiled, what a belief is to believe in yourself. So maybe you guys who are out there, there's some people out there. What's a good way to instill belief in yourself? What would be a good thing? What would you do? And I'll keep talking. You guys write it down. I'm just kind of curious because this is very interactive, and I want to share with the ideas, and I want to learn as well. And so, how do I instill belief in myself? Well, let's see. How would Iggy Garcia instill belief in himself? That's a good question. How do I believe in myself? I have confidence in myself that I'm going to learn something. Let's see. And it's kind of like a stumper, you know? I can say the words, I believe in myself. But there's a part of me that doesn't believe that. There's a part of Iggy Garcia that doesn't believe that in myself I'm capable. But there's another part of me that does. So, we can take the half truth of that word, believe in yourself, and understand that there's going to be aspects of ourselves that don't believe in ourselves, and there's going to be aspects of ourselves that will believe in ourselves. So what if we can meet ourselves halfway and say, okay, I won't always believe in myself, but I'll believe myself in that moment or in this particular something, because sometimes we can take the parts and move them into a space where we can, resonate in. I'm not sure if I'm capable to do all the things that I think I said I can do, but I want to. At least that's a start. I want to believe myself, and I'm going to move into the space, and it's all self-talk. It's self-talk, how we talk to ourselves, what comes out of our mouth. Sometimes, we want to do things and we can't because we just never been taught. Our parents never believed in themselves. Some parents just never had the tools either. So here we have 3 or 4 or 5 generations of people who don't really believe in themselves. They didn't think they had. I mean, why would they be in the situations there are? Why don't they have more? Why don't they have less? Why aren't they super powerful rich? What is belief? What does belief actually do for us? What do we create when we believe in ourselves? Is it for the moment? Is it forever? Is it part-time? It's a good question. And I'm glad that you brought that up, Juanito, because it's one of those things that we just don't know. And it's okay not to believe in yourself sometimes. And I'm here to tell you it's okay to just say, hey, I'm just good where I'm at. And I don't always have to strive. And sometimes we just want to be relaxed. Sometimes we just want to be in the space where we just want to be left alone. And it takes a lot of energy. Both ways. To believe or not believe. It goes both ways. It's like they say, it takes more muscles in your face to make a frown. A lot of us walk around like this with a frown on our face. And they say it takes less just to smile up, right? But why is it so hard to smile all the time? Well, number one, when I smile, I can see my teeth. I guess I take that back. Usually can't see my teeth unless I got a little skinnier. Anyhow. But when we start to change the little aspects, the little things about ourselves, then we can start believing that things are possible. Is when we start to chew off too much, too fast, that's when we get stuck. When we have little winnings and we win little by little, the little by littles compile and they become bigger. Okay? So as we project out to the world and the world sees us, then we can say, okay. By doing is the biggest thing that will help you with your believing. Okay? A lot of us believe in ourselves, but we don't do anything. I believe in myself, I'm not going to do anything. Okay, that's cool. That's fair. You're allowed to do that too. But go out there. Go out there. And how's it going, Jessica? Good to see you. And I believe you. You can do anything. Absolutely can. But you know what? Here's a cool thing. You said you can't, I don't know how to fly a plane. I would ask you, what kind of plane? What kind of plane don't you know how to fly? The plane of existence? The plane of a mechanical flying vehicle? The plane in your dreams you can fly. I guarantee you, when you dream and you sleep at night and you're in a plane in a cockpit and you're flying, you're flying. How does that translate into this particular dimensional world that you're in? Well, in this dimensional world, we have to learn. We have to come into this world. We have to apply the things that we want to learn. In some dimensional worlds, we don't have to apply anything. We just create it. It just happens. But yet, if it's an aspiration and something that you truly want to do, you'll do it. You'll find a way. There will be nothing that will hold you back. But just by mere imagination, you're flying already. You have to fly here. You have to fly here before you can fly out there. When you're flying in here, it makes it easier to fly out there. We can fly everywhere. Some of us don't want to fly. But for example, in just what you posted, we can fly. And you will fly. And you already fly. Flying is metaphoric too. There's a huge metaphor there in flying. What it means to fly. So I hope that you guys got a little bit of something out of this conversation. Okay? You have issues landing? Yeah, I think we all do. Some of us land on our butt, some land on our feet, some on our head. And some of us just smack the water. But yeah, I hope you go back to the show and listen from the beginning, so that way you can kind of get what you wanted, what you maybe have missed. But you know, in July, we're here in July now. And July is going to move pretty quick. July is going to be the focal point. We're halfway, you know, we're halfway through the year. And we're talking about flying. Look where we're at now. You have opportunities every day to create, to change aspects of yourself and how you see yourself, how you would like to see yourself, how you would paint yourself, how you want the world to see you. That's where you are at, we're all at when we have the tools. For those of you who have never been in the metaphysical community or in the holistic community or have no connection with it, I suggest you find somebody maybe who can help you. Number 2, I can help you, work with you. Number 3 is, you know, create in your mind what you would look like to somebody. What do you look like? Ask yourself, I wonder how people perceive me. I wonder how I'm looked at. Do I come across being a pain in the butt, funny, not too serious, quiet? You know, because everybody sees everybody in certain aspects, in certain lights, by first impressions. Most people judge people right off the bat, not on purpose. It's just human nature. We see somebody who's quiet and they don't say anything. It doesn't mean they're quiet, but we project onto them that projection of quietness. And then as soon as they're out of character from our projection, we're kind of like going, wow, I thought you were quiet. Now you're all rambunctious and crazy, you know? That's why we have to engage people, talk to people, learn about people, and share with people, talk to people when we're comfortable, when we feel safe. But we project. We're human beings. We're projectors. We like to project, and after we project, we like to see how the reaction comes back to us. So, like I said, beginning of the show, should I change? Yes or no? Why? If no one's ever asked you that, well, I'm the first person to ask you that. Okay, fine. Maybe I threw the why in there. But, okay. So, I want to say thank you to everybody, and I want to just say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here with me tonight on Iggy Garcia Live on With Insights Radio, here on live stream on Facebook. If you need more information about me, just look me up at iggygarcia.com. Set up a time and appointment. Anytime we can just share and talk. Send me a note in Messenger. Just drop me a line. Tell me what you would like to talk about in the future. Is there some topic you want me to share? Is there a Q&A session you would like to have, online, where I just you ask me questions and I'll give you how I perceive things. Let's do this. Let's have fun. Let's enjoy life. Let's do things together. Let's go out there and create things. Let's manifest together. Let's be the observer, and let's also be the doer. Let's be all the things we are. We're all my relations. We're all manifesting together. We're all creating. So with that, I want to say thank you. Okay? You guys are awesome. Juanita, thanks for your question. Jessica, thank you. And thank you for everybody who's tuned in. And what's that? I see you as a funny, spontaneous, kind of hearted, wacky, loving, inspiring. That's me. Yeah. I mean, that's your projection. I mean, that's how I project back to you. So yeah, it's kind of funny how you say that. And I just enjoy life. I know that there's times where I get down. There's times where I have my dark moments, and I don't want to do a show. I don't want to talk about anything or share with anyone. But then there's times where I just let go. Like today, just, I knew it was the beginning of the month and I have to do a show, and I love doing my shows. So, and I'm excited about that, and I like to share. Actually, there'll be more shows because I'm getting more requests to do them, and I enjoy doing them. But for those of you who want to have a one-on-one session with me, or a phone session, just call me, iggygarcia.com. My numbers are there. And with that, I want to say thank you very much. You guys have a great rest of the week. I mean, tomorrow's already Thursday. 4th of July just blew through, and 4-day weekend's very fast. And I'll see everybody at the Drum Circle on Saturday at Whetstone Park at 1 o'clock. Okay, we'll be by the pond, those of you who want to drum. So be well, take care, ho'oponopono, much love, Erisiqui, have a nice evening, take care, be well, all the different things you could possibly say in the universe. You guys, take care.